We're out in Oshawa, Ontario here. We're coming to our first Supplier showcase, Get Wrapped. Let's go check it out. Niek,
Good to see
how are you?
It's been a while.
Good to see you.
How you been?
Niek Erms, I've been great. Niek's the owner of Get Wrapped. Niek and I have known each other for about 14 years now.
A lot of years, yes.
But this is the first time that we're out here in Oshawa. So this is your headquarters here.
Yes, because GM is one of our biggest clients, and we're at their doorstep here.
Perfect, that makes
New
sense.
show cars for the auto show, they're right around the corner. So great, but all the other corporate stuff, as yours, is all in the big city. So we travel.
Now I see actually something that looks familiar. I see a familiar color scheme up there.
Yes.
And I see some stuff here. Is that St. Lawrence Center stuff?
That is the St. Lawrence Center, yes. So that's stuff we've worked on with the St. Lawrence Center. Carmen is actually a great designer that was commissioned to put this together. And they may just look like a couple of bubbles, but we've gone through some rigorous testing. These different percentages are like different white spots that we put in between. Because, as some designers know exactly what they want, and we're there to help them do it. So there's been sort of 3 runs of tests, and we're there now. But it had to do with you print the color, then you print a percentage of white, and then you print the color again. So it's a sandwich. So here we are.
And so you say designers, that'd be designers on our end, but you have designers on your end as well, right?
Yes. So in this case, we didn't take part of the design. So then what our designers do is take the designer's creation, and then we make sure that the technical aspect of it fits in such a way that we use the right material, the right density of inks, the right percentage of white in between to make it look good. Because Carmen, the designer that was commissioned to do this, he had a very specific idea. So he wanted it to look really great from outside, so good punch and impact. And if you just go translucent, you can't do that. So you got to have a white points to make it pop. But then when you're on the inside, you didn't want to make it look too dark. So this is the best of both worlds, basically. It looks great from both sides, exactly the way she intended. But
there's a lot that goes into that
Yes.
you'd never ever think, and I will make a shameless plug here. St. Lawrence Center, we're looking at closing St. Lawrence Center as it is now down at the end of 2025, and we're making a whole new state-of-the-art venue. So that's what Niek is working on with our team now. And I see
Great.
some other stuff here.
yes, and here are the tests that I gave Carmen. So she ended up taking it on site as well. So yeah, this was just really, really important to get it right. We even played with different kind of materials. We did it on frost. We did it on optically clear, which means when you look through it, there's nothing that turns fuzzy, right? So those are just little details that can go wrong if you don't get them right. And then you do a huge job, like 80 running feet of this stuff. So we look before we leap.
Perfect.
Yes.
So this is your pad.
Yes. So we just took a little while to just rip the whole place apart and turned it into something that's the best of both worlds. So we got people that like account managers that can sit in their own office, production management, design, HR, admin. So we have the opportunity to be by ourselves to focus, and then we collaborate in the middle here. So it's funny the way it works, actually. It's just, when you look through a process, it starts with sales and then project management, design, pre-press, production, installation. That's exactly what happens from the front to the back. So it's logistically correct the way we set it up.
There's a strategy involved.
We're all thought about this. So
He's a smart man.
we got the best of both worlds. We got people that can collaborate in silence behind a computer or with somebody on board, or we can all get together here and discuss projects. So we have general meetings here. It's not much of a boardroom. It's more of a collaboration space,
And this is a fantastic picture. Does that elevate?
That is Elevate, and that's what MasterCard did, among other things. So
That's awesome.
yes,
If I do say so myself. And look at that. Like, that's what I say. If you, Meridian Hall, you go in there and you'd think that's a MasterCard bar. Well,
yes,
that's awesome. Look at that.
that's how we look at graphics, because we do well at Meridian Hall to use the space that there is. So instead of adding something, which say DMZ did by popping up something, and you got to have those too, like banner stands and stuff. This is actually using the space the way it is, and then coming in there, you think that this is owned by MasterCard. That's the idea. So
And
as soon
that's
as you
what
reach that
MasterCard wants,
point, yes,
right?
then you know they own it. So it works well. So 2 big brains of the operation is Kathy Malta over there, production managing.
Hi, Kathy.
And then there's Linda Van Schindel, HR, also sales.
HR, I love
Amanda's
HR.
hiding. It's all about people.
You got to show the team members.
Then we get into design.
This is the design people?
Yes, yes.
The creative
Greg and
people,
Logan,
eh?
and Corey's also, he designs, but he designs off-site, mostly.
Cool.
So,
I
yeah.
hear great things. Keep it up. Awesome work.
Thumbs up, guys. There you go.
There's Tom Selleck back there.
Tom Selleck is in the kitchen. You know, if you feel a little dazed and confused, and you look around, and all of a sudden Tom is there, it just kind of it wakes you up right away.
Frank
Jackie
Reagan.
loves this guy, so yes. Once you get past this wall, there's production. So this wall is like, you got creation number 1 over here. You know Stephen Covey, like he says, there's 2 creations. Like when your first creation is right, it's like an architect drawing a building, and the more detailed that first creation is, so the customer knows exactly what to get, the better, right? So first creation is over here, second creation where it's actually happening. So we're printing right here.
It's cool.
4 great printers from HP. Basically, these printers are, some of them print white. It's called Super CMYK, so it has a broader color gamut. There's no solvent inks in this place, so that's why you don't see any venting. So HP is a very green company, and that's why we love, using their products, because they're always on top of, whenever there are products that are the greener the better, that's what we use. So these are all latex inks. So then when you come over here, this sort of shows the variety, because it so happens we're doing a fire truck. Everybody's seen a fire truck, so this is actually real gold. It's plated, so that goes on the truck. I think it's in the bay now too. So we do a bit of municipality work too, which has nothing to do with event space, but it's that mixed bag again, right? So
Hey, common theme here. We got St. Lawrence Center stuff. Leslie Lester will be happy.
there you go. So it's of course there's the backing still on there, but this is exactly what the doctor ordered. But Carmen wanted to really make sure before we printed everything that this was all working well. So this is a really good part of the window, and it shows the white points, and so you can look at it on site. And this is, a larger print that we then use as control. So when we promise the customer something, we've given them a test proof, we make sure that we keep one as a control piece. So whatever we output, it was exactly the same as we promised. So we do the internal testing again, right, for a second time. So
What's this called?
yeah, this is a light table. So it's progression, right, of production, where it used to be that you would digitally print and then you laminate it, which means a layer of clear goes on there. Then it goes on this table, and then people trim it with rulers. But in this case, you don't have to do that again. All we do here is, we bring it on this table to take a look at whenever there's anything translucent, you can see it. You can weed it out like that gold there. And then what happens is this roll moves across and pre-masks it. It's pneumatic, and then so if you wanted to put something on a substrate, you put the substrate on first, and then this thing just installs it perfectly, right? So then when it's digitally printed, quite often there's like little registration marks. Then we go over here. So then it comes off the laminator, it goes on the table.
Laminator.
And then if it's digital print, now in this case, because we're optically clear vinyl, we don't have to take the excess clear out, because you can't see it, you look right through it. It's not there. But if it's white vinyl, then you have to cut it, right? Just like that, those 2 shields there.
Yeah.
So then what happens is, with control points, we have a software system that then takes it on this panel right here. You can see there was a flag that Aaron's just putting together here, and then this table goes across, and besides it routing, it can route through like an inch of acrylic too, but in this case it also has a finite weight, kind of a Swiss Army knife. It also plots very precisely what the die lines are, and then it gets weeded out, but also it just gets paneled. If it's just a straight panel, no more cutting with a ruler. It all gets done by this machine. It's just going into a little action there now, so you can see it. It's a pretty great machine, and we can do like really big panels that are larger than 10 feet. But we can also do really, really small decals as well. So the table sucks this thing down, and then it plots it. So
What's this table called?
It's a router, actually, a CNC router. Yeah, so it serves as a router because it has a router bit, so you know, a spinning bit, let's say. So we can cut through like substrates, and we can cut vinyl. So they're just two different tools on one machine, so it does both.
What's a substrate? A substrate's a
Yeah.
material that you put it on, the vinyl on?
Yes, like substrates are coroplast, alu panels, half-inch plexiglass. Like, you know, a lot of these three-dimensional letters you see, they get cut on this machine via a router. And the router bit comes on and it sucks up all the dust. And so it cuts that as well. And then it puts little holes in the back where you can put pins in, and then it gets pinned in the wall when you see. So then, when everything is put together, usually it goes out the building because we don't install a lot inside, but in this case, we have a fire truck here. So that those graphics that you saw there, Braden's wrapping this thing. So that this Canadian flag is going here. So what we do is we take out as much as we can. Yeah, that Canadian flag you just saw is going to get wrapped over here. So Braden's taking as much apart as he can, even door handles. It's very three-dimensional, right? So he could leave the light in and trim around it. So at the end of the story, that is basically what you see. So this is conspicuity tape. That's a different story. It's another product we're going to install in the rear. And that flag you just saw goes on the back and then including the cap. So because there's a black gradient, that's going to end up being printed on clear, just so that it gradates to the right red color of the truck itself. So it's tricky. Some of this is reflective, some of it's straight, some of it's clear, and some of it's conspicuity tape, which is like that really, really reflective stuff. So it's got a little bit of everything, including gold.
Braden, so it's Braden, right?
Yep.
So you have to remove these lights and the door handles and everything?
Yeah, it just makes it easier and a cleaner install.
But so you have to know how to do that.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't know how to do it, it's a simple YouTube video
Yeah.
to watch and
It's okay. So today you are wrapping a vehicle. Like tomorrow, might you be wrapping a wall, or
possibly. This
Yep.
will take, this will take 2 days. So I'll be
2 days to wrap this vehicle?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So that goes on. That's the first step of this.
Yeah, we're gonna take all of the panels first and line them all up. That way we know that everything fits. And we get the location where it has to go.
So what you see here is clear, right? That's the tricky part. This is actually not white vinyl. This is actually printed white. And then on top of the printed white, you print the red and the gradient. So if you look here, that's the white print and the black print. So you have to do that, otherwise you're never going to match the paint color of the car.
Oh yeah.
When the black gradiates to like the red, it just fades out in the clear, and then he just stops with the clear at the door, and that works. So it's as much as it's a simple flag, it's a pretty tricky process.
Well, I was going to say that. So it's kind of a stressful operation for you. Like, so if you mess something up, then you got to go do that again.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the truth.
This is the
Yeah.
last step, so
Yeah, so getting it, yeah, so with vehicle wraps, not getting it done the first time is not the same as with events.
Well,
So
see,
that's good. That's the good news.
I put a sheet of paper 8.5 by 11 down on my iPad and can't get the crease out.
yes.
How do you do that in an entire vehicle? So you're not going to have any creases, right?
So it's training, right? This guy's trained by 3M and he has a lot of experience, so.
Oh, does 3M start the training process?
Yeah, Braden is 3M certified. So as a shop, that certification matters because the people are referred by 3M or people look up, hey, who do we find on 3M? We're a certified shop, so those things matter when it gets into big corporations.
Fascinating, Braden. Great job. Do you have a lot of vehicles coming in here to do it here, or no?
Not that many,
No.
but yeah.
I guess it's
Here and there.
a treat. You get to stay here instead of traveling. And Most of your team would travel and install, right?
Mostly yes, but yeah, there's a fair bit of vehicles, and we do a lot for the municipalities too. So the city of Oshawa is going to be 100 years, so they just commissioned us to, I don't know, 50 trucks. We're just going to put 100 the anniversary in there, make it a party, right? So
That's good.
Stuff we
Good
do.
stuff.
And yeah, and these are all wrapped film collars. So what Braden does too is sometimes people just want to have a different color vehicle, so then there are different colors, and this is like wrapping a vehicle. Like every piece of paint on a car is going to be a different color. So talk about removing stuff. Like sometimes there's even more to disassemble sometimes to get that right.
Okay, so I've got a white vehicle out in the parking lot. Can I get that done? That purple?
Absolutely.
How much is it going to cost me to do that?
Depending on the vehicle, between $3,000 and $4,000.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that then, Niek.
Not going to do it, but
It's my white paint's pretty good today.
everybody's going to see you coming, and you're going to be like the talk of the town.
Yeah.
So that in itself is worth it.
Yeah.
Plus, it protects the paint. So when you bring this brand new car that we just wrapped back after 3 years, because we don't cut paint, we take it off, and it looks like brand
No
new,
way.
like it came out of the showroom.
Okay, that's good.
So you're protecting your investment.
Seriously.
Now are you going to do it?
So is that it? That's the dime tour, is it?
That is pretty much it. And then it goes out the door right there.
Okay, that NFL logo that you did.
Right.
How's that? That's fascinating. Like there's so many applications you can do for that. Like just cool things, like a nice logo going into Meridian Hall or any of our venues.
You're right.
Like that.
Yeah, that router does all of that.
That thing would do the whole thing, and so
It would do the whole thing, but in this case, the NFL logo was painted too. Now, we don't do that here because we want to bring it into a paint shop right around the corner where it's painted perfectly, because that's not ours.
So as you build that, how do you build that up? By layers of 3M material?
No, those are all kinds of materials, but in this case, it is a plastic, like a really hard plastic. So it gets routed out in different layers. In this case, with all the stars of the NFL logo and the extra layers, I think there's altogether about 3 layers involved. There's different depths.
And then how heavy would that thing be?
This one was pretty heavy, so then you got to cleat it into a wall. So you can't just screw it in sometimes. You got to build cleats in behind, hover it off the wall a little bit. It's like kitchen cabinets, really. And sometimes you can put LED lights behind it to create a halo effect. There's lots of different tips and tricks to make a brand stand out.
Cool looking logo.
Yeah.
NFL.
And that's like, no comments. It's just like, we don't really take ourselves very seriously, is what that means. Yeah, this is a really great all-around machine.
So a router is like it's kind of a blade?
Imagine a drill bit spinning.
Yeah.
It goes down, and then it just goes around, and it drills out.
As it's spinning?
As it's spinning, it drills out lines. So those 2 princesses for Disney, for example, the different Disney immersive shows that we've done, that is getting mounted on I think a 1/2 inch or 7/8 or so crayon, which is like a plastic, PVC. So then we mount that on top of the PVC first, then we take it to this table, and it routers the whole thing out. So.
But he had that was vinyl on here before, right? Is it?
Yes.
Will it just cut a straight line?
That's
too?
the beauty of this. This thing is so finite and so exact that it can cut through vinyl, but not the wax paper, and then you weed it out. It's a very finite little knife that spins around. It rotates, oscillating blade, and then when you have to cut through a substrate like PVC, this thing automatically just grabs the next piece, and now the router goes on, and it routers out, for example, that whole thing. So
there you go. But you got to tell it what to do.
yes. So this computer, anything that's on this table that these knives or spinning router bits do is they follow a line, basically. It's a CAD drawing. So even if you have those princesses, when we get them, we don't have an outline of these. It's just they're just part of a picture from Disney. So then our designer perfectly creates an outline that this thing then reads and routers out. So there's always artwork involved before you get stuff like this done, but they look fantastic.
formulas and algorithms and computer programs and all that.
Yeah,
It blows me away. Pretty cool.
it works well. And that the machine there is just roll to roll. Like basically you put a roll of vinyl in there and it just plots. It doesn't router. So it's always good to have redundancy right in the shop to make sure.
So that one over there,
Yeah, that's also made by Suma, and that's just a plotter.
what does that mean?
What it does, it just plots vinyl, and it cuts out
Blots?
the shape. It cuts it with a
Cuts
knife.
it. Okay.
But it cuts through the vinyl, but not through the wax paper that's under it. And then what happens is you weed out the areas you don't need, and then you get, for example, this. Right? So this was a piece of vinyl, a white roll of vinyl first. The plotter plotted it. You weed out the parts you don't need. You pick it up with a pre-mask layer, and then stick it on a wall or whatever you stick it onto. It's magic.
Magic.
Almost. So over here is where we're printing. So if you take a zoom in there,
Oh,
you can see that it was printed first in color, and now it's printing a layer of white. It takes a long time for a printer to print this because it has to dry in between two. So you print layer one, it cures with heat because it's a water base, right? Yeah.
put print layer one, then goes over, then that heats it like that.
Yes. So as it prints, it heats. There's a lot of heaters you don't see going on, blowing the water off. Now the white goes on in different layers. See, there's different percentages of white, and they all create a different level of opacity on the actual windows at the St. Lawrence Center. So we're just doing the small test first to make sure that we get it right in a small format. We scrutinize to make sure we didn't make any mistakes with the values that we threw in there. And now you get, after this white is done and dried, then you get the next layer on there of the same color. So it's a sandwich. A sandwich can go up to 5 layers because, for example, for the National Ballet, we had to do ballet dancers on glass, but they had to look good from the inside and the outside. So what we did was, first layer was the image of the dancer. Second layer was white to make it show up. Third layer was black. Fourth layer was white again. And then the fifth layer was the image again. So you can go 5 layers on this thing.
Very cool.
But it takes a long time. But it's an amazing quality. I mean, we do a lot of flat surfaces like walls, especially at Meridian Hall too. But yeah, you can see that there's a lot more than flat going on.
Now, did you strategically decide not to put anything on your walls here?
No, we just got really busy. It's just the shoemaker in his shoes, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we want to be very deliberate because the danger is that we have such a lot of great work. If we try to put that around here, it's going to be a mess. So we want to be very stylistic about it.
Yeah.
We want to put our values up here and then put some graphics all around, but do it in such a fashion that it's not very busy, right? So it's got to be very contained.
Yeah, you just
Maybe
can't slap
on
up
a
a bunch
canvas.
of...
We're even thinking of hanging. We're contemplating on doing, these paper airplanes. Imagine a whole bunch of paper airplanes in different colors with graphics on them. It's just an idea we have. So, and then we got a little busy.
Yeah.
So yes, it's
When's the
definitely
busy time?
part 2. Busy time is hard for us to say because we're in such a niche market, in different niches that sometimes things pipe up. Like in schools have definitely a rhythm to them, right? So like it's March break next week, we're going to do a lot of schools, and then in June, it's the end of budgets, and then August it begins again. So there's an ebb and a flow with schools and the way they spend their budget on getting things done. Events, as you know, they slow down in December, January. February isn't great, but then March is when things pick up again in the event world, right?
Yeah,
so
March, April, May, June, and then it slows down again.
yeah, so it's very, very unpredictable to some extent for us. It just seems that with the different things we're doing, everything just goes and flows. And then if we ever get into a spike, we have great partners in the auto trim network that we're part of.
You do some subs kind of thing?
Yep. And then we work together. I help them out, they help me out.
That's perfect.
We give each other, when we do national programs, we give each other the right of way. Like if I want something done in Vancouver, I got great people there, like in every major city in Canada. So it makes us handle, like we're doing something for Best Buy right now where there's these kiosks and they have to be rewrapped.
Across the country.
Across the country. So, you know, you get into those things, then it's nice to have predictable partners, right? People that are part of your network. It's really all about people all the time. So, there we are.
That's good.
Are you going to say goodbye on?
Oh,
We should wrap it.
right. Wrap it up.
So, okay, so we'll just go like, see you later, Niek.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. This place is awesome.
I'm so glad you made it.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity to come out here. And I know we've been trying to put this together for a while, and you did not disappoint. Thanks.
We will see you on the next job, which is around the corner. See ya.
Good to see you.
Take care.